Another article you wrote, 2 contract extensions the Browns need to make, and one they should probably avoid. So we're going to start with Grant Delpit. You think they should extend Grant Delpit, safety? I'm anxious to see how Jim Schwartz unlocks him. Number 2, Browns should extend Donovan Peoples-Jones. And number 1, Browns should avoid a Za'Darius Smith extension. It's kind of interesting because we had talked earlier in the week on the show. They have the most money committed to the salary cap next year. They're over the cap by a lot next year. So and you can extend and push things down, and you don't have to do it. But I'm guessing with Delpit and Donovan Peoples-Jones, they want to see what this season looks like before they decide, okay, do we go ahead and extend? Those are guys they've drafted and developed, and we're starting to see, Andrew Berry values draft and develop guys, because you're going to have to eventually do that to not have to go out and sign 6 free agents that are plugging holes.
Yeah, and the reason I picked Delpit and Donovan Peoples-Jones is, kind of twofold. Both have shown that they have the ability to get the job done, but we also are expecting both of them to do even better this year. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to have much more favorable matchups now that Elijah Moore is there. We already saw last year him and Deshaun Watson were kind of on the same page. He had his highest receiving yardage total in just the second game last year with Watson. So I think that this is more of a, hey, let's I think kind of looking down the road, I think Amari Cooper may not be here for the long haul. I would love for him to be one of my favorite receivers in the entire NFL. But when he starts hitting that $24 million cap hit range, they might have to consider life after him. So that's where I'm kind of thinking, hey, if you extend Donovan Peoples-Jones now, you kind of give yourself a little leeway there in case you have to make that move. And I truly believe that Grant Delpit is going to shine in this defense where he's not being asked to go and play that deep cover role, but to be able to attack the football. So I think the biggest thing was, hey, these guys are young, they're ascending, we've seen them do it, but at the same side, the flip side is if they break out and play the way that we're expecting them to play, it's going to be nearly impossible to keep them because they're going to outplay any contract that the Browns can afford.
Yeah, and we have a pretty good idea. Andrew Berry is very much a guy in free agency. We've seen he has a price that he has in mind and a range, and I would imagine it's going to be the same way as you look at your own players that you're looking to extend. There's a price range in which you say, yeah, this is a good deal, and then there's a price range where you go, yeah, that's really going to hurt us. And you're absolutely right. Delpit and Peoples-Jones could play themselves into big-time contracts in the free agent market.
They could, and then that kind of the same line of thinking with Za'Darius Smith is, one of two things is going to happen. He's either going to come in and he's not going to play well enough to earn a huge contract, or he's going to play well enough that he earns a huge contract and the Browns won't be able to afford him. So that's why I was thinking he's kind of the player to avoid, because he's either going to price himself out or he's going to be the player that some people in Minnesota were saying he is. I believe that he, being at 31 years old, and then he hits free agency next year, I think he's going to try to get one more big contract. And so I kind of think that he's going to go out, he's going to play well, and I think he might price himself out of there. And Andrew Berry's done a good job of, he got some younger guys there ready to take over. But yeah, I think they like these guys. But you're right, he's going to have a bar. He's going to say, this is what we're going to pay. And you never know. Maybe those players would take that now, or maybe they're going to go bet on themselves because they know that they could end up getting more.
And it could very well, you've seen how that works. If you make a deep playoff run, say everything goes well, Browns make it to the AFC Championship game, they may want to come back at a favorable, and I'm not saying a ridiculously discounted contract, but a favorable contract to try to get it done.